Welcome to Project Scope Management. This is the third part in a special series on project management. Our focus in this series is on vocabulary, business vocabulary related to managing projects. In the first class, we talked about what a project is. A lot of people think of projects as large undertakings to build a bridge, a space shuttle, or new aircraft. But actually, a project is anything that has a start or an end date. It's a temporary endeavor to produce a unique product, service, or result. Project scope management, well, it's very important. But before we get into defining what project scope management is, we need to define what project scope is. And I'm wondering why no one's here yet, since this class was subscribed. Let me just take a look at the main window. So classes. Oh, here we go. Management. Our focus. Hello, Hyde.
Hello?
It's been a while.
Yeah, I was sick. I had been sick for over 1 month.
Well, that's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be sick again.
Now I'm better.
Good.
Overcame about 90%.
Well, that's really good. I'm glad you could make it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before I was buying only over-counter medicine, but finally I decided to go to doctor.
Yeah, if it's something to do, or if it's something that's lasting a long time, then yeah, talking to a doctor is really a good idea.
Prescribed medicine is better than over-counter.
Usually it is, yes.
Yeah.
So is today your first day back with classes?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
great.
attended writing class or kind of quiet class and a Spanish class. I
Nice.
wanted to learn Spanish.
I haven't had a chance to take a class myself because I'm so busy with my career, and then of course I come home and I teach, and there's really no time left for me to learn another language.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Mohammed. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good. Where are you from, Mohammed?
I'm from Saudi Arabia, but I live in the United States.
Which state?
Ohio.
Oh, Ohio. I know where that is. That's pretty close by. North Ohio or Southern Ohio?
South.
Cincinnati?
Bowling Green.
Oh, Bowling Green. Yes, I know it.
It's boring city.
Well, I can't help you there. Okay, so this is a project management class. I don't know where everybody is. Perhaps they're still in other classes, but our class needs to get started. Who can tell me what a project is?
Hello? Uh-huh. Hello?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. My computer just all of a sudden locked. That's really bizarre. I've never seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it all of a sudden rebooted. Okay, so back to where I was, project management. What is project management?
A project is a plan of piece to work,
It's a plan
plan and design to find another work.
to find work.
Management is marketing for the project and plan and getting budget or lot of things to implement the project.
Well, that's really not what a project is, though. We need to look at what a project is. Yes, a project does have many plans. It involves work, and there may be marketing involved, but I'm trying to find out the definition for project.
It's an application.
Location. No, it's got nothing to do with location.
Not location, application.
Application. No, that's not it. We're looking for characteristics of a project. So the opposite of a project is something that is operational. So what is the difference?
At first, they have some purpose.
They
Then
have.
to plan how to implement that.
We will do that, yes, but that's still not what a project is.
Yeah. Management is mainly maybe they need to get budget.
Yeah, you do need to get budget. There's a lot of management involved, but that's not what a project is. We're talking around. We're not defining project management. I'm going to open up a screen. I'm going to open up a shared document in Google Drive. Okay, so I think we need to go back to the beginning here and discuss what project management is. Okay. Project management is a temporary endeavor. Okay.
I can't find anything.
To create a unique product, service, or result. Most importantly, it has a start date, but more importantly, it has a finish date. All projects come to an end. Mohammed, what can't you find?
Oh, I found it.
Excellent. Okay. Ahmed, you're late, so you get the surprise quiz. What is a project?
Oh, well, hi everybody. Project is a temporary endeavor that has definite beginning and end.
Okay, what can you create with a project?
Well, can create or produce a product, service, or result.
Now, Ahmed, you haven't opened Google Drive yet, have you?
No, not yet. Sorry.
Guys, he is doing this from memory. Ahmed has attended my other project management classes. Ahmed, you get a gold star. Very good.
Thank you.
Excellent. I have Google Drive open right now with a shared class note, so I'm going to put information in there. So Hyde, you told me a lot of things that a project involves. Why do you think that definition is very important?
Which project or project management?
Yes, why is that definition very important?
It's kind of purpose and including some process of a project.
No, it's got nothing to do with processes. Look at the definition. Everything you see is right there. Why is it so important, this definition?
If they don't know that definition, how they can work. They can't understand how they can work for that.
Well, I think that's a very good point. A lot of people don't know what a project is, but once you realize it has a start and a finish date, if somebody asks you to work on a project, they don't really know how long it should take or when it's going to finish, then you need to ask them some questions. Okay? Ahmed, a project is completed when?
Either when the objectives, I don't know how to say, have been achieved, or when the objectives can't be met.
Excellent. So, a project is completed when the objectives, and I'm leaving some spelling mistakes here, guys, but I'm doing that on purpose, giving you guys the opportunity to correct mistakes. Okay? So a project is completed when the objectives that have been, a project has been completed when the objectives have been achieved according to what was laid out in the project plan. Or when the objectives can no longer be met, or what else? There's one last thing. Is no longer a need.
Yes.
All right? This is very important because sometimes people keep working on projects without any reason. Good job on the the correction of spelling mistakes, guys. All right. I go over this definition every class because it's very important. Sorry, I'm going to step on something. Let me just move those out of the way. It's very, very important. You got to know when it's beginning, when it's ending. What you are creating, is it a product, a service, or result? You need to know why you're creating this project, what it's meant to achieve. Because if you don't know that, how do you know when you're finished? Or if there's no longer a need for it? Today, we're going to talk about project scope management. Does anybody know what I mean? Or can somebody give me a definition for the word scope? What does scope mean in the context of project management? I'm going to have to pick on somebody. Mohammed, what is scope?
I was afraid that you picked me.
Okay, well, let me ask you a simple question first. Is it a noun, adjective, or verb?
A noun.
Yeah, it's a noun. Okay. Does anybody want to guess what scope means? All right, well, let me help you out here.
Alexandra wants, I guess.
Well, Alexandra, why don't you go ahead and read the definition that I pasted?
Me?
Yes.
I don't see any definition.
You would if you had Google Drive open.
Ah! Scope?
Yeah.
Scope, the extent of the area or subject matter that something deals with or to which it is relevant.
Wow, what does that mean? It's horrible, that definition, isn't it?
Well, my understanding of scope is the level of knowledge.
Not related to that. No. Let me give you a project management definition for scope.
Uh-huh.
Ahmed, or Hyde, go ahead and read that, please.
Hyde or Ahmed?
Okay. Mohammed, if you can go ahead and read that definition, please.
The work that needs to be
Accomplished?
accomplished to delivers a product, service, or result with the specific
Specified?
specified features or features and
Features and functions.
functions.
Very good. Let's look at our project management definition here. Okay, it ties very much to that. It's work. So Hyde early on mentioned work. So scope is the work that needs to be accomplished to create that product, service, or result. But here's what's really important here. Specified. You can't just create any product or service. You must create one specified by a list of features or requirements. Okay? Okay. What do I mean by, what does the word specified mean? Alexandra?
Exact.
Think of it in terms of a verb.
Define.
Identify.
Maybe not define, but to be precise.
No, actually, Hyde did a good job of answering. I was just busy typing. So specify. Identify clearly. Okay? Clearly identify what it is. You've got a definite understanding. So if I said I'm going to create a project, and the purpose of this project, my major requirement is that it will result in me having a brand new roof. Is that a good requirement? Ahmed.
Sorry, I feel that I am lost. I didn't catch the last word you...
Okay, so my project is to perform a service to retile my roof.
Okay.
Service to replace my roofing tiles. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my scope. Is that clearly and definitely defined?
Well,
Guys, I hear some noise in the background. Who's making noise?
Not me.
It sounds like this. You know, like something's dragging or moving. Okay, so Ahmed, is that clear enough? Service to replace my roofing tiles.
I don't know. Okay. I think the work, we know the work now. It is to replace.
Okay. What color are the roofing tiles?
But I don't know really, because in Saudi Arabia we don't put tiles on the roof. That's
Maybe
why.
not, but let's think about this here. So I can go ahead and choose pink, right?
Ah, yeah, I got it. No, no, then it is not clear.
Okay. What about the size of them?
Yes,
What about
quality as well, probably.
quality?
Hmm.
And okay, what about quality? What else should I do? Should I inspect the roof? So my point here is the scope is not enough to identify the product, service, or result, but you must specify the features, the requirements, right?
Yeah, yes.
So to replace the roofing tiles with a 25-year guarantee, so we're talking to quality here, it must be gray to match the existing tile color. They must use a modern style.
I see.
Must replace the tar coating underneath. Must check all vents. Right? So requirements are very detailed.
And the budget.
Sorry, Hyde?
And the budget.
What about the project?
Budget, for example.
Budget.
Yeah, they check the price to be supplied, and finally they need to calculate the price of the project product.
Well, here's something very interesting, Hyde. If I go ahead and say I want to use a 25-year tile, I want them to be tar-based tiles, I want this color, I want you to do all these things, I'm pretty well helping to define what the budget's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So that can really help. Yeah, budget's important, but that definition is very, very important. Now, has anybody ever heard the term creep?
Could you type it, please?
Oh, you're going to make me type it. Okay, if anybody can type creep, I'll give you a gold star.
CREEP.
Yeah,
Is it?
another gold star. So scope creep. What is scope creep? What does it sound like it could be? Alexandra.
Scope creep?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, good. So I know you're going to pay a lot of attention now, because this is one of the most important things to understand in project management. Okay, who would like to read this definition?
Wow. It's the definition, really?
I'll pick on Alexandra again. Alexandra, go ahead and read that definition slowly, please.
Is a term which refers to the incremental expansion of the scope of a project, which may include and introduce more requirements that may not have been a part of the initial planning of the project, while nevertheless failing to adjust schedule and budget.
Wow. Look at some of the things I've underlined here. Hyde. Hello, Hyde.
Yeah.
Why is it important to, well, let me ask a different question. What is important about this definition? What do you think we need to pay attention to here?
They need to plan the process. In that case, they need to have understand the definition. They need to make plan following that definition.
Okay, you need to make a plan. Alexandra, what else is important about this definition?
I don't understand why they fail to adjust budget and schedule. What's the reason for that?
Oh, you guys are awesome. Great question. Okay, so Alexandra,
Yeah.
I'm going to replace your roofing tiles.
Uh-huh.
Okay? We agree on color, size, quality,
Uh-huh.
all the extra things that we need to do, including taking away the garbage.
Uh-huh.
Then we show up the following weekend to replace your roofing tiles. And you say, oh, those are ugly. I want a different kind. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want to examine this sentence here in terms of scope. What have you just told me, Alexandra?
In terms of scope,
Yeah.
I have new requirements for you.
Yeah, you have new requirements. Okay, now have we already agreed upon the requirements?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, and since I've come back to install them, haven't I already purchased tiles based on what we agreed upon?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you've got new requirements for new materials.
Mm-hmm.
Ahmed, what does material mean?
Material. Tiles. Probably like replacing. We have to replace it again.
No. What do we mean by the word material?
Material. Everything that we need to start the work.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's
Ingredient.
yeah, ingredients is one way of looking at it. It's the matter from which all things can be made. Okay, so materials could be cloth, metal, plastic, gravel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Roofing tiles, nails, screws. So, I'm the contractor, and I say, Alexandra, you realize we've already bought the tiles. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you say? I don't
I'm sorry.
care.
Uh-huh.
Say, I don't care, I don't like them. So I say, okay, I'll go back to the store. I'll see if I can exchange them. However, it's going to take us more time to complete the job, and I'm going to have to charge you more because it's going to take us more time to exchange them.
But why couldn't we take the catalog beforehand and decide on the color, the size, and everything? Or maybe I could go to the store instead of you?
Ah, that's a good question.
To avoid those arguments.
But they don't avoid those arguments. So based on the scenario we already did, I came and we showed you different styles. We decided on it. But then a week later when I brought them over, you got second thoughts. No, I don't like them. For whatever reason. This happens.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And you have a limited budget. That means I'm not gonna pay for the new ones?
No, we have a budget, so we've already agreed upon them. We've bought them for you, but you don't want them anymore. So, well, obviously we have to go back to the store. They'll probably exchange them, no problem. However, that's going to take time. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you make a change to the scope, that will have an effect on your schedule and likely your budget. Now, maybe these guys are really friendly and they figured, you know what? Don't worry, the store's just around the corner. It'll take an extra hour or two. We'll go and exchange them. It won't cost you anything, but we're not going to get the work done today. Okay? So we can have two results. It will take longer. It may cost more. Okay? So you say, okay, I don't want those tiles. We'll say, okay, come with us. We'll go to the store and you can pick the ones you like. So we pick those. And while you're at the store with us, you say, oh, I want to change this too. Can you also fix my windows? Okay. Okay, that's not how we spell fix. Now, Ahmed, you're
Yes.
a contractor. She asked you to fix your windows. Are you going to say no?
No, I wouldn't.
Why wouldn't you say no?
Because I would like to start another work, and how to say it is. I mean, yeah, it is good to please my customer.
Well, yeah, and you make money, right?
Yes, of course. Out of that,
Okay.
yeah.
So
It's a
we're
win-win
looking,
situation, you know.
yeah, well, we're looking around the store, and she also says, hey, you know what? My sinks are old. Can you replace these sinks for me too? Yes, not a problem. Which ones would you like? These. Okay. So we go, we complete the job. Or no, we don't complete. We start the job, and then we get a call later. Why isn't the work done? I thought you guys were coming back this weekend. We say, well, we already had other jobs lined up. We can't come back right away. We've done the roof, but the other things will have to wait. Well, she's upset. Well, no, I wanted it done right away. And the contractor says, I'm sorry, I've got other work. I can't drop my other work. I already promised those people.
There's always extra noise, extra sound.
Extra sound.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
some noise from someone's computer. I always mute, so not my computer.
No, it wasn't. It was Muhammad that we were getting the noise from. Okay, but let's go back to what we're talking about here. So my client is getting upset. Alexandra's getting upset. I'm getting frustrated because I'm trying to help her by do the extra work, but she doesn't seem to understand that it's going to take more time. Okay, so a month later, I get all the work done. I give her the bill, and she goes, "What? We didn't agree to this. You told me it was going to cost $3,000. Okay, it's now. What do you mean, $9,000? Okay, what happened here, guys? Isa, welcome to class. So Ahmed, what happened here?
Okay. Like we can say like there is another job here, another work, so it costs more. I mean the budget changed.
Yeah, but why is she surprised?
Surprise. She thought that it would cost 3,000. But she didn't realize probably that she asked for fixing windows and changing the sink probably.
Okay, good. What about you, Alexandra? What do you think went wrong in this scenario?
Maybe I'm a very absent-minded client.
You might be, but something went wrong here with the scope. You can't be held accountable for that. Hyde, what went wrong here?
They ask a lot of money, so you need to haggle the price.
Well, you can always haggle, but let's remember this is a project management course. We failed to what?
To plan?
Close. Okay, so we failed to plan or manage what?
We failed to stick to our plan, I would say.
What's the name of the class?
The name?
Scope. Project
Yeah.
scope.
We
Thank
failed to manage or plan the project scope. Okay? So here's what should have happened. When Alexandra said, oh, I would like a new roofing tile. What did I say? Okay, we can do that. It'll take more time, but it won't cost you extra, right? So I managed that, but when she said I want new sinks and windows, did I plan? Did I tell her, well, that's changing your scope. We're going to have to look at, it's going to increase your costs, and it's going to have to change the schedule.
No, you haven't.
Right. So, here's what's very important here. And this is getting back to what I'm trying to teach here. The very first thing we do when it comes to project scope management, and guys, at the end of class, feel free to copy everything you see here and use it as your class notes. So we've got a bunch of process here. When it comes to project scope management, what do you think is the one thing we need to do first? You guys have already mentioned the word. It's a P word.
Plan.
Yeah, we need to plan. So the first thing we need to do is plan scope management. Okay? Okay, so after we plan, what do we need to do? Well, we need to collect the requirements. Okay? So when we started off, we found out information about the roofing tiles, the color, the size. Okay, so we collected our requirements, right? So we need to plan the scope as a contractor. As I collect the requirements, okay, I'll come over to your house on this day. We'll look at your roof. I'll do an inspection. We can pick some tiles. The following weekend, as long as it's not raining, I'll start the work. Stuff like this, right? So we got to plan it out. How do we manage our scope? Okay. And,
Marketing. Marketing.
No, there's no marketing involved. What we want to do next after we collect the requirements is we need to define the scope. Okay? And maybe back when we planned scope management, we thought, well, what if we need to change it? Or what do we do when we come up with our scope? Well, we need to communicate, right? Okay, so collect the requirements, define the scope, and then once we have the scope defined, we have something called create work breakdown structure. This is a very big and complicated process that means what work needs to be done. Okay? And you might have rough timelines here. Okay. So, we plan scope, we collect all the requirements. So I'm the contractor, I've collected all the requirements, I've defined the scope, I've created a list of work that needs to be done, my work breakdown structure. Okay, and this is important because if you get into business, you will hear this quite a lot, and it's instead of called work breakdown structure, people will refer to it as WBS, work breakdown structure. Okay, so we've created all this work, right? We've collected the requirements, we've defined the scope, we've got our work that needs to be done. What should we do next? Thank you, Ahmed, for letting Isa know that. Okay, what must we do, guys?
Does the budget, is in the define of the scope or not?
We don't really talk about budget. There's a separate project management knowledge area for that. It's called project cost management. Okay. But we probably have an idea of the costs here. But we've got our work planned out. We've defined the scope. Should we go back to the client and check it over with them?
Yeah, we need to do that. Why not?
Yeah.
We have to. Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, we need to validate the scope. Validate is a very big word for we need to check it over. Okay, so I can go back to Alexandra. Alexandra, this is the work that we need to do. Are you okay with this? Yes, it's great. It's perfect. Okay. Now, when I come back the next week and I show her the tiles and we get ready to work and she says, no, I don't like it. I said, well, we agreed to this. What's changed things? You know what, second thoughts, I don't like it. I can say, okay, so you want to change the tile. Is there anything else you want to do? No. Okay, so let's go to the hardware store. We'll pick a tile and say, okay, so I can change the scope, but it's going to cost you an extra 2 hours of time. We should still be able to get it done today, but I'm going to have to charge you for an extra 2 hours. Are you okay with that? Yes. Okay. So here we are in the last process. We're controlling the scope. Now remember what I said. What else did we do when we went to the store, Alexandra? Yeah, what else did we do?
What else?
Oh,
We
yes.
talked about
Okay, so sinks. So Alexandra, you asked me about the sink. I said, well, okay, we can look at these sinks, but again, you know, this is going to cost you more money, and we're not going to get it all done today. So if you want me to do these sinks, there's other work involved. It's probably going to cost you an extra $2,000, and we probably won't get it done for another 2 weeks. Do you still want to go ahead with it? No, never mind. Okay. So again, we're controlling the scope, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're working with the people involved. Do you really want to go ahead with this? It's going to change your schedule and the costs. Okay. Hyde, what else did Alexandra want to change? The sinks and what else?
The check the things.
No, we just did that. What else besides sinks?
And implement.
No, that's we're still talking sinks. It's got nothing to do with sinks. So we just talked about that. So what other element did Alexandra want us to change on the house? Go ahead and ask Alexandra if you're not sure.
Windows?
Yes, very good. The windows. Okay, so I say, well, which windows do you want to replace? I would like these. I said, okay, these ones have wood around the frame. These ones have vinyl around the side. Vinyl will last you a lot longer, but they cost a little bit more. If you're going to live in the house for a long time, get vinyl. She'll go, okay, I want vinyl. I said, okay, well, we won't be able to get that done for about 4 weeks. And it's probably going to cost about $4,000. Do you want to go ahead with that? And she might go, oh, it's a little bit of, that's a little expensive. Any chance I could just do the windows on the front of the house? Sure, we can do that for $2,000. Do you want to go ahead with that? She says yes. So we've controlled our scope. We know we need to change the scope. Is this good or bad, Alexandra? You're on mute. Is this bad to change the scope?
Oh. I don't think it's changed. I don't think it's bad when it's changed. Only if until you lose control of it.
Okay, that is key. Ahmed.
Yes.
So Alexandra said it's okay to change as long as we control it. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's okay as as how to say, as as long as we identify every single change. I mean, we can, you know, all details about the changes and the things. It is fine, and uh, both are happy with that. It is fine.
Excellent. Very good. I agree. Isa, I haven't heard you yet. How are you, Isa?
I'm very well, thank you. How about you?
Not too bad, sir. Where are you from?
I'm from Nigeria, but I'm talking to you from Riyadh right now.
Sorry, you're from Nigeria, but you're where right now?
In Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Riyadh. Oh, yes, I know Riyadh. Well, Isa, we just talked about making a change to the scope. Okay, you see my notes here?
Yes.
Okay, so we've agreed that it's okay to change the scope, but if we agree to change scope, what must we then redo?
If we agree with that, I think, do we have to write something, or
That's a good question. Ahmed, do we have to write something? Do we have to do something?
We have to write something. Yeah.
Yeah, so look at our processes. Which processes do we have to revisit?
Well, it is an incremental expansion. Am I right?
It's an incremental change. It doesn't seem like it's a huge one, but definitely impacts cost and schedule.
Well, okay. We need to mention the change.
Well, look, we created a work breakdown structure, right?
Yeah,
So we have to go back and change that, don't we?
we have to.
Yeah. We also have to go back to the client once we've created that and then validate it again. Okay, all those things you wanted us to do, here it is. Are you okay with that? Right?
Yeah, we need to check again. Yes, right.
Yeah. When we were in the store, once again, we were collecting requirements. Okay, so we've already done that. And by asking her details and by finding out or checking the price and the length of time it's going to take, we were helping to redefine the scope again.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, we need to go through the whole process again from the beginning.
Yes.
Okay, the plan will change, collecting requirements are going to change, define the definition will change again.
Yeah.
And so forth.
Here's something important to remember. Change is okay. In business, change is fine. Where change will get you fired, and I do mean this, change will get you fired if you fail to manage that change. Here's a little secret about project managers such as myself. We don't have any authority to approve changes. In the example there of the roofing tiles, the contractor, who was the project manager, went to the customer, Alexandra, and said, here's the work I'm going to do for you. Do you agree? Right? It's her idea. I'm just writing it down. Then Alexandria wanted me to change and do some more things. Well, you want to do that. I'm going to let you know how much it costs, how much time it's going to take, right? And of course, how that changes our scope. So whenever you go to management in your companies, whenever you have a problem, define it, okay? And don't go to them with a problem. Go to them with options and a recommendation, okay? And each of your options should say how much it will cost, how long it will take, and what the change is, your scope, okay?
Okay.
Very important, because otherwise your manager's going to say, well, why are we spending this? Well, why did that happen? What are our options? Well, why does it cost so much? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the problem? What are our options? And then measure each option with cost, scope, and schedule information. Okay, so let's go back to the top. What is a project? Anyone?
Okay. Project is a temporary endeavor that has definite beginning and end. It produce what else? It produces product, service, or result.
Excellent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
I
when
don't
is it done?
When it is done when the objectives have been achieved, or when the objectives can't be met, or there is no need anymore, I think, for this
Excellent.
project to be done.
Okay, Alexandra, can you tell me what scope, the definition for scope is?
Mm. It's what we need to accomplish.
Okay, the work that we need to accomplish, yes. But what else is very important about that definition? There was an S word.
Specified features and functions.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did we spend the class doing? What was the example I used?
Tiles.
Yeah, tiles, boring tiles. But what did that example help point out? What is important about scope management? What do we need to do, Alexandra?
I don't know.
It's late, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know. I can tell you have tired brain. Okay, let me ask Isa. Isa, what is important? What must we do when we're doing scope management? What are things that are very, very important?
I'm not good in management, right? So,
Well, we spent the whole class talking about it.
It is easy. Just read the document.
Yeah, are you following along your class notes? Because if you're not, there's no sense in me doing it.
when I came, I just start seeing what you're reading. You're writing there at the same time.
Yeah, because you can't see what I'm reading. This is all from my heed.
Yeah. What you're writing, exactly tell me that you're writing. So, what is important to do? So, I think we have to plan what we're going to do.
Yes.
And then start, the resource, I think.
Yeah, so...
about the things we're going to do.
Yeah, and that's good. What else?
I think if we have a project or something to do at the same time, we have to see how to start it and where should we start the project.
Okay, and what do we call that though? So we're talking about where to start, but what is the most important thing about the scope here? Let's go over to Ahmed. Ahmed, what can you add to that?
Well, as we mentioned before, we need to plan scope, collect the requirements, define the scope, create work breakdown structure, validate the scope. I mean, we need to check again, control the scope.
Yeah, and you guys should be making your own notes as well, not just using mine. But what is very important here, how do we make sure, Alexandra, that you're happy with the work I do?
Checking.
Checking, yeah. So validate and control. We must check to make sure what you've told me is really what you want. So for example, I would love a beautiful big house on the ocean with gold faucets, expensive cars, and that's what I want. But then when Ahmed tells me how much it's going to cost, very quickly what I want changes.
What's the difference between validate and control? Because for me it's just the same.
Well, think of it this way. Validate is to just check with you, right? Okay, so I've created the work breakdown structure. Everything you've told me to do. New roof, colors, tiles, sink, whatever, right? And then I say, okay, here you go. Here's your estimate. All right? So you as a customer get an estimate. And then you say, oh, I don't want to do this. Okay, now that's where we're doing change. So we got to control the scope. So I go back to you and say, yes, I can change this. However, this is going to cost you this, and it's going to take this much time. Okay? So that's what control means. It means I don't make a change without letting you know the impact and getting your sign-off. Now, you might not change the scope directly. You might say to me, Simon, I've only got $5,000. Here's what I need to get done. What can you do? So you've now told me you want the work, but you can't afford it all. So I can say, well, for $5,000, I have to change the scope, which means these things we're doing, these things we're not doing. And then I let you know that your cost is now changed, right? I go back to you and let you know. Does that make sense? Okay, guys, feel free to copy this information because I think when class is over, you no longer have access to it. So copy everything down. For future classes, what I do recommend is you also take your own notes. Okay? Or even in this document, write your own notes beside it. Okay? So next class, we're going to talk about project time management. So this is all about those things that Alexandra wanted us to do to her house. Well, we now need to figure out what order we need to do those activities in, what sequence. And you guys are going to start to see similar language. You're going to see validate, plan, control. We're going to see these same words only related to time. Any questions? I've got 3% battery life left. 2. Okay, guys.
I really wish to ask questions, but I miss a lot. I couldn't even follow the whole.
I know, and that's why I didn't bug you as much, because these sorts of classes, if you don't come in at the beginning, you miss too much.
I've already had.
So I want you guys to get the best value. Whenever you're taking these classes, try to come in at the beginning, because I do start right on time. Ahmed and Alexandra will tell you that they come into the class and I'm already talking whether somebody's here or not. Right, guys?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, because people watch the class online or later on. So let me see. Tomorrow I have another class. It's a little later. It starts at this time. And I'd like to tell you what that class is, but I can't get into the site. It seems very slow right now. There we go. So slow. Before my battery dies, I'm down to 2%. Class is essentially over now. I just want to get you this information. If you do have to go to another class.
Pronunciation.
Oh, pronunciation. Awesome. One of my favorites. You can come in late in this class. It won't matter as much, but trust me, this is one class you don't want to be late for.
Okay.
Hmm.
Guys,
All right.
good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night to you, Alexandra.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah. Of course.
Thank you.
By the way, Alexandra, just to let you know, when I do have my baby, I'm going to try to take some morning classes, and I'm off for a month, so keep an eye out for some early classes.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, guys, have yourself a good day, okay?
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye
you.
now.
Yeah, bye-bye.